You wake up when your body is ready. No alarm, no schedule, no obligations waiting for you. For a moment, there's just one quiet question. What do I do today? For roughly 99% of human history, this wasn't philosophy. It was survival. And the answer looked nothing like your life today. Modern humans spend around 90,000 hours working in their lifetime, about a third of waking existence. But for most of human history, the idea of a job didn't exist at all. No wages, no boss, no career ladder, no productive life to optimize. So what did humans actually do all day? Let's start with the best real-world window we have. In the 1960s, anthropologist Richard Lee studied the Juhoansi people in Botswana, one of the last groups living in a hunter-gatherer lifestyle. He expected hardship. Instead, he found something surprising. Adults spent about 15 to 20 hours per week obtaining food. That's it. The rest of the time wasn't survival pressure. It was living. And this pattern doesn't stand alone. The Hadza in Tanzania, the Aceh in Paraguay, the Martu in Australia. Different continents. Different environments. Same result. Now compare that to your work week. You likely work more in 2 days than they worked in a week. But the real question is, can we trust that this reflects the past? Skeletal evidence says yes. Early agricultural humans show clear signs of decline compared to hunter-gatherers. Shorter stature, worse teeth, more disease, more joint damage, shorter lifespans. When farming began, something changed, not just in lifestyle, but in human health itself. But the most surprising evidence isn't in bones. It's in art. If survival was constant struggle, there should be no time for anything else. And yet we find caves filled with it. In Chauvet Cave in France, 30,000-year-old paintings show horses, lions, rhinoceroses, drawn with perspective and movement. Not quick sketches, intentional, skilled work. Someone sat in darkness by firelight for hours or days, creating something that had no survival function. Beauty for its own sake. And it goes further. In Blombos Cave in South Africa, archaeologists found 100,000-year-old engraved shells, clearly made as decoration. In Germany, a 40,000-year-old flute carved from bone, built for music. None of these things keep you alive, but all of them require time. And time is the one resource survival should never allow. So let's reconstruct a day. You wake at dawn, fire still glowing. Food is already there, leftovers gathered yesterday, shared communally. No urgency, no clock. Maybe a small group leaves to hunt or gather. But not everyone. Not every day. If food is already secured, the day shifts. You sharpen tools, repair weapons, prepare hides, or you simply sit. And this is where modern assumptions break, because not working doesn't mean doing nothing. It means living socially, talking, laughing, watching children, making objects, grooming each other, resting. Anthropologists estimate around 6 hours a day of pure social interaction, because survival isn't just food, it's trust. In a world without money or written contracts, your safety depends on relationships. If people don't like you, you don't eat when food is scarce. So time spent bonding isn't optional, it is the system. And when the sun sets, something shifts again. Conversations change. During the day, practical coordination. At night, stories, myths, jokes, ancestors, meaning, origins. Over 80% of nighttime conversation becomes narrative. This is where culture forms, not in labor, but in safety. And sleep wasn't what you think either. Before artificial light, humans often slept in 2 phases. 4 hours, wakeful gap, then 4 more hours. A split night filled with reflection, conversation, sometimes quiet activity. Not broken sleep, different sleep. So what does the full day look like? A few hours securing food or making tools, a large portion in social connection, long rest periods, and significant time simply existing without justification. Then, around 10,000 years ago, everything compresses. Agriculture begins. At first, it seems like progress. More food, more stability, more people. But there's a hidden trap. More food requires more farming. More farming requires more labor. More labor requires more organization. And suddenly, time is no longer yours. Within generations, population growth locks humanity into constant production, and there is no exit. Farming demands repetition. Plowing, planting, weeding, harvesting, defending. And the body reflects it. People become shorter, sicker, weaker. They die younger. But civilization expands anyway, because it scales. Specialization appears. Toolmakers, builders, priests, administrators, and eventually something new emerges. Jobs. The idea that your time belongs to someone else. By the time cities form, the original human rhythm is gone, replaced by schedules, deadlines, obligations, and the expectation that most of your waking life is spent producing value for a system you didn't choose. Today, you inherit that system. You work thousands of hours across your life. You sleep in rigid blocks and call interruption insomnia. You chase goals defined centuries after your biology was shaped. And you call it normal. But for most of human existence, none of this existed. People didn't retire into freedom. They were already there. They didn't make art when they had time. They made time for art. They didn't optimize life. They lived it. And maybe the most uncomfortable question isn't about the past, it's this. If humans survived, created, and lived meaningfully with far less structure, what exactly did we gain by giving it all up?